top 5 best ways to make your own porno. Wait, what? Sorry, wrong channel. I meant to say top 5 ways to quit porn or any other addiction in your life. That's because this is Illegal Therapy. Welcome back, boys. I hope you like the new setup. It's just me in my basement by myself. I thought I would come here and, revitalize this whole channel, make this shit great. So we have scripts now, we're professional, taking my years of experience on all of this, making it concise, making it more fun to listen to. What credentials do I have to give you guys this information? Absolutely none. That's why it's called Illegal Therapy. But I have been completely and utterly addicted to pornography since I was 8 years old. And I finally tried to quit when I was 20, and it took almost a year of on and off relapsing terrible stuff. So that and all these other fucked up issues I have with my mental health makes me the perfect candidate to give you guys some illegal therapy. Let's go right into number 1.
Número 1.
The 5-minute rule. When you're in the shower, you get the schlong in the hands, you're like, damn dude, I whip out my phone from the toilet, I placed it down on the counter and I really need to watch. Personal experience, by the way. And it's like right in front of you, you're like, damn, I have to go on, you're about to go onto the hub, black and orange YouTube. You tell yourself, 5 minutes. Let me give myself 5 minutes, and I promise myself I will let myself watch this porn. I will let myself hit the blunt, hit the vape, whatever it is, but only in 5 minutes. Now the trick to this is you have to adhere to that promise. You have to tell yourself in 5 minutes, I will allow myself to do the addiction, and you actually have to do it in 5 minutes. If you want to. Why does this work? After quitting so many different addictions in my life, I realized that the cravings for addictions, unless it's something like so neurologically in your system like alcohol, right, where your body physiologically depends on it, cravings for addictions are like emotions. They come in waves. When they're here, when it's the peak of the wave, it feels like it's the end of the world, and it feels like you have to give in to that because it feels like it's never gonna come back. But typically when you wait 5 minutes, I guarantee you most of the time that emotion fleets. It goes away and it doesn't return for a while. The best part about addictions, and emotions too if you work on them, is as the waves come, the better you get at ignoring them, the shallower the waves become. If you give yourself the 5-minute rule, most of the time, you're not gonna wanna do the addiction anyways. Now in the rare chance that you do wanna still wank your shit, you have to let yourself. Just waiting that 5 minutes is already a huge improvement. And the thing is, if you never learned about this, you're probably gonna hit that shit anyways, okay? Number 2.
Número 2.
Schedule it. I know it sounds counterintuitive. Why would I schedule in doing my addiction? Well, similar principle to the 5-minute rule, you were gonna do that shit anyways, man. You were gonna pick up that dab pen. You were gonna crank your shit. If you schedule it into your calendar, like I preach on this channel so much of having like a Google Calendar or something to systematically systemize your life, putting it in a schedule makes it so during the times that you're not supposed to be focused on the addiction, doing your work, doing the things that you need to do, those thoughts pop up way less because it's always gonna be in your mind that, oh, at like 9 to 10, that's my jerk time. The worst part of addictions is they come out of nowhere completely and they sidetrack you from the task at hand. But that's because nobody wants to do the addiction, right? But the addiction wants to do you. Damn, that's some crazy shit. That's, to me, some of the worst parts about the addictions. So this is at least structuring a little bit of control over the addiction. Okay, number 3.
Número 3.
Setting obstacles in front of the addiction. It is the opposite of good habits. Why is it so easy to skip out on good habits? Why is it so easy to skip out on, like, let's say the gym? You gotta put on gym shoes, you gotta drive there, you gotta pick your gym outfit, you gotta get your pre-workout, you gotta have the whole fucking program. There's so much barrier to entry before you even start doing the good habit. That's why most of us don't wanna do it. And most of the time, these good habits aren't even fun, like eating healthy. Oh my God, you gotta make the food. You gotta buy the fucking cookbook of gains. Tough life, but it's easier because it's like 20% off at DaveandTheFattest.com. Link in the bio. 200 plus recipes, the only fitness cookbook with high and low calorie recipes. The problem with addictions though, is they're so easy to access. Pornography, I whip up the computer, listen to how fast I can type in Pornhub.com. This is from years of training. I'm actually proud of myself. I typed in Pornhib. I can't do it anymore. When I was a kid, man, literally, in your phone, the phone addiction. Hey, this is one of my biggest addictions, man. Like, it's crazy. I've been making videos like this for like 2 years. I still got so many issues, man. Like, I'm on the phone, right? I can't even, like, I'm doing my work on my fucking big laptop, big monitor here. Boom, not even a notification comes up. It is just instinctual for me to pick up the phone, open. I can go scroll to Instagram without even opening my eyes. Dude, you don't even have to load up the bong anymore. You can whip up a dab pen. Are you kidding me? It's so much easier. So by putting more barriers in front of your addictions, just like like a good habit, it makes it harder to even get to the addiction. For example, things that have worked really well for pornography that you can transfer to other things is like porn blockers, safe search settings. That was one of the biggest things for me, man. Like, it was so embarrassing when I realized, I was like, damn, I am this addicted that my fingers can type to black and orange YouTube that fast. It took 1 second going to my iPhone's notifications to switch the settings to, there is like some crazy, like, it's not even a construction, man. It is like my house is getting torn down and rebuilt. Putting in the safe search setting in my phone, the minute you type in something inappropriate, Google deems it as dirty. It puts like a blur over it, and that adds like an extra. You have to click a couple things, click like, are you sure? And now you feel like a guilty piece of shit. Yeah, I'm sure. I want to go jerk again. Other little things you can do, the things we said before, like rule 1 and rule 2, the 5-minute rule, scheduling things, those are just setting more barriers to do the thing. Having to do something first is just a fantastic way. Number 4, best way to quit porn or any other addiction.
Número 4.
Replacing the addiction with another addiction. Addictions just come out of habit, come out of boredom. If you're a morning jerker or a night jerker, for example, you didn't choose that. That's something that just like built out of habit and became kind of part of your subconscious lifestyle. You want to replace the addiction when it typically happens. That's the best case. Let's say for pornography, if you are a morning jerker, you put something in the morning to do instead of that addiction. So what helped me a lot was, because I was a crazy morning jerker, I made it a priority that every single morning I had to make my favorite breakfast in the morning before the gym. And I got so excited to do that, I didn't even want to hit the morning jerk anymore. It became an addiction to start whipping up my favorite pre-gym meal. Let's say, like, for example, you're a night jerker, right? Schedule your workout around that time. Replace the addiction with something healthier. For some people, it's working out. For some people, it's studying. I don't know. Who the fuck wants to do that? Like, for me, pornography, nicotine, those were addictions I really could not control. And I started replacing those with things that I could control a little bit better. Video games, scrolling on my phone. Putting those things at that time, at least I was doing the lesser of two evils. When you go down the rabbit hole of addictions, like, the reason you got here anyways is because you had so many small losses to yourself. Like, think about the first time you opened Pornhub. Think about the first time you picked up the vape. You did it, you felt a little dirty. It's kind of gross. I don't think I can do this. But I felt pretty good. Maybe I'll do it one more time. You do it, you're like, okay, this one's the last time. And you break these little promises to yourself that creates this vicious cycle down this dark road of despair and depression until you absolutely hate yourself. Or maybe that's just me. Building it back up with small little wins. The small little win is just picking your outfit for the gym. Your small little win is just choosing to eat one healthy meal. Your small little win is just choosing to put one healthy ingredient in that little obesity meal. Those little wins compound over and over and over. And it might not seem like it at the time. You might not be able to see the bigger picture, how that's gonna help, but that small little win, it always compounds because it shows you a little bit that you can get out of it. Humans, we love to do the most fun thing for our time at the time. So most of the time when we're doing our addiction, morning, night, throughout the day, is because it feels like that's the best thing to do with that time. But if you can start scheduling in more things into your day that you just love, that fill your life with passion, with joy. A good exercise to think about this is like, just give yourself 5 minutes, stare at a fucking wall, no music, and just think back to all the times you felt a sense of flow state, a sense of true joy. I watched this video where someone said the best example of flow state is shaving your balls. Because you aren't thinking about anything else, you're thinking about that task at hand, nick your nutsack. Now it doesn't have to be like the overachiever, you're gonna replace watching porn at night by going to the gym and doing a grueling workout. It could just be going for a night drive, something that you love. The brain is always gonna be active. Even when it's not active, or you think it's not, you're always doing some sort of action. There's no such thing as inaction. You're just spending that action, that brain fuel on things that are lesser value to you, wasting your time on intrusive negative thoughts. So that time's gonna happen anyways. At least spend it on things that you like. Last one, most important, the number 5 way to quit pornography. Just quit. Pussy. So before you click off, you're like, Jesus Christ, this one sucks. We tell ourselves we're gonna change up our life habit. We're gonna quit something. We're gonna start doing the thing that we know is good for us. But we don't make that true promise to ourselves. It's like quitting for real. It's not half quitting. It's not trying to quit. It is adopting the mentality that you aren't a quitter, but you have already quit. You don't have that in your life anymore. It's not part of your life. Here's a personal story. When I first tried to quit porn the first time, okay, I kept relapsing for an embarrassing amount of time, over a year. It would be the same stuff that you guys have felt. You know the story. You quit, you feel good for a week, you start telling people, bro, I don't watch that shit anymore. Moment of weakness, boredom. You're like, what can one time hurt? That just kills your self-confidence. And I kept relapsing and kept trying to quit. But the difference is I was also super addicted to nicotine. If you haven't seen those videos, diabolical. To the point where I wasn't able to not hit the vape or do the dip or fucking put the shit under my tongue, spray, for more than 30 minutes of the day. Like the only time, a prolonged time I didn't have nicotine inserted deeply into my system was at night when I was sleeping. And if anything, I'd wake up and hit that shit too, because that felt great. But when I quit nicotine, for some reason, I quit. And I never hit it again. It felt 20 times more brutal than porn. It was one of the most painful mental experiences I've ever felt. I could feel the dopamine receptors in my brain getting torched away by my inactivity with the nicotine. It was absolutely fucked, guys. It was brutal. Did I want the nicotine? Fuck yeah, I wanted the nicotine. But the difference was I made it part of my identity. I made a sole promise to myself the day I put that Nick stick down that I'm not gonna hit it anymore. And then I realized one thing. There's suffering in everything. There's suffering and tough work that you're gonna do throughout your life, but there's also an equal, if not more, amount of suffering in doing nothing and accepting the shame and the guilt and the thing that you can't quit. I cared so much about quitting that nicotine. It was part of my ego, it was wrapped up, it was all that. And the minute I put it down, it was very simple to never pick it up again. So you need to become a non-porn watcher. You need to not even become, you need to be right now. You need to make the agreeance with yourself. A non-porn watcher, a non-nicotine hitter, a non-drinker. There's multiple ways to do this. If you would like, please let us know down in the gum. Who's us? It's really just, it's sadly, very sadly just me. Alone, by myself, here. With nobody to love. If you want videos on specific ways to change your identity, let me know in the comments. Yeah, that's about it. But tell people, these are examples. Tell yourself. The best way is to get things through to yourself that specifically activate the part of your brain that's actually listening. Because when you're talking, when you're saying things out loud, you're not listening at the same time. Like I'm saying this and it's a very tough skill to develop to be able to talk and listen at the same time. Those are two very different parts of your brain. That's a whole other topic for another day. But things like journaling, things like quietly talking to yourself, sub-vocalization, those are the only true ways to activate the parts of your brain that you can give out and receive information at the same time. Most people want to quit a bad habit without making the promise to themselves, because they don't want to let themselves down. Like that feeling sucks when you promise yourself some shit and you don't do it. So you gotta sit there. No distractions, no cell phone, nobody talking in your ear. You really have to truly ask yourself, do I want to never have this thing in my life again? The tricky part about this is you have to be honest with yourself. And if the answer is yes, well great. Now you're ready to never have it again. But if the answer is no, this is not what you want to hear, but that's okay. And you're probably not ready yet. This is the same reason why many people never fix the parts of their life that could cause death, like smoking and all these terrible behaviors, obesity, until it gets really, really bad. Because when it gets really, really bad, that is when they're okay with making the promise to themselves. Don't be like everybody else. Make the promise now. Thank you for watching. If you want to hear, wow, you see that quick switch? Thanks for watching, guys. If you do want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments. Let me know what type of videos. We can do tier lists. We can do reacting to some stuff. I got a lot of ideas. If you want a safe space, a really nice safe space to be able to talk about your feelings and your emotions, lifting everything to do with self-improvement, illegal therapy, join our illegal therapy Discord. It's completely free down in the below. What else can I plug to make more money? Cookbook games, we always talk about that. And also, if you want someone to help you with your fitness, join our 100+ members Come Back in My Day fitness program. It's a subscription monthly based program where I do it with you guys. And we have a private members only group chat. Is dope. We talk every single day in the Discord, give each other lifting tips. I rate everyone's form, not physiques, because usually when I rate their physiques, they tell me how short I am and I cry. I would consider clicking on any of those. But yes, love you boys. See you in the next one. Peace out, you beautiful, sexy motherfucker.